Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Infinite Ambition Podcast episode. What are we looking at? Episode 8. Recognize your limitless worth, damn it. We are here today. Today I am here speaking with my homie, whom I've known for a while, Mr. Dave. He's general manager at the public house now?
Bar manager, yep.
Bar manager, okay, that's what's up. How you been though, man? How you been?
I've been good, man. Real good.
Man, what's been happening with you, man? It's been a while since we spoke.
Yep. Busy. Summertime is busy. Not too much time to, reconnect with people.
Yeah.
But that's what this time of year is for.
You got anything new going on at the public house? Coming up new?
Yeah, we've got a pretty awesome lineup of music coming up this winter. A lot more variants in the genres of music that we're bringing in. We've kind of had a lot of bluegrass, kind of jam band type stuff in the past. We're bringing in a lot more live hip hop acts. We're bringing in some heavier kind of rock and roll type stuff. So we're gonna give a wider range for the fans in Crested Butte.
Yeah, I was there just recently at a show. What's the name of that DJ that was there recently? I think it was like EDM blend. He had a little bit of hip hop. He had a mixture going on. He had a short show though. What was his name?
Yeah, we had a couple. I think the one that you're talking about was Space Monkey, I think was the name of it.
Yeah, that shit was dope, man. I was feeling that.
Yeah, he had a pretty good thing going. Just the mix of styles that he brings together was good.
Hell yeah.
And the girl dancing on stage with the hula hoop didn't hurt either.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. 'Cause I came in like near the middle of the show to the end. That was like a good party. The thing I love about down there is that's the closest thing to a club that we have here. And I come from the culture where clubs is huge.
Right.
I grew up partying 3 or 4 nights a week. I didn't grow up partying, but like most of my adult life was in the clubs 3 or 4 nights a week. And I just missed that. Not just from being in the entertainment industry myself, doing my own music and things of that nature, and working with club promotions and things like that in the past, but just being around the atmosphere I miss. So when Public House opened that up and had that big giant ass screen on the stage and the acoustics in that room just drove me crazy. I love it.
Yeah, the sound down there is pretty incredible. They kind of spared no expense when they built that out. And then adding the big video wall behind the stage just adds a whole nother aspect of entertainment that we can provide people, kind of a visual to accompany the audio and just bring it together the way it does at a show at a larger venue.
Yeah. How do you go out and find the acts that you bring in like from out of town?
So we have a couple local to Colorado talent buyers, as well as a few that work nationally.
Okay.
So they pretty much just keep us informed of when people are going to be in the area. The acts that we try to book, usually we're not the premier, at least on paper, premier venue that they're playing. So they might be out playing bigger clubs in Denver or Salt Lake City, and we try to catch them on their way in between to bring these acts that fill 500, 700,000 person clubs in these bigger cities, to bring them into a town of 1,600 people and provide a real intimate, personal experience for both the band and the fans in here in Crested Butte.
That's dope, man. That's good to be able to outsource like that and be able to find them far in advance. Do you have anybody of interest, like industry, like it can be mainstream, it can be underground, from outside that you haven't brought in yet, that you have interest in bringing in, that you want to bring to the company, the company's attention?
In terms of interest of my own, you're saying?
Yeah.
I just think the one thing I've really tried to do is bring kind of a variation to the music, because I know the people in Crested Butte, and I know that, there's a main style of music that the majority of people kind of relate to.
Right.
However, a lot of that music gets its influence from all other types of music, which you then become exposed to and interested in. And then bringing those types of things into town is something that I think no one has really kind of done in the past. Like, bringing a legitimate amount, and we've got a good amount coming.
Right.
Of hip hop and kind of that sort of thing, but from a live on-stage performance perspective. Yep. Especially with some of the DJs that we're bringing in. I mean, these aren't guys that are pushing play on a MacBook. These are guys that are bringing in records and actually creating a show.
Ones that actually have style
in front of people.
Knows the art.
Yeah. When we had the last time we had Cut Chemist in from J5, he put on an absolutely amazing show, and we're trying to do something a little different. We're going to bring him back, and we're trying to do something a little different that might involve additional DJs and an actual live kind of DJ battle on stage. And I mean, that's something that really hasn't been seen in this town before, and I think people would really enjoy it because it is real quality, spontaneous music.
Yeah, being ahead of the curve a little bit, because like the diversity in sound was what a lot of people I know that I've talked to is looking for. It may not be seen all the time. It's maybe like have to be brought in gradually,
right?
But the interest is there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can even look at the bands that a lot of these people are, or a lot of the fans around here especially are, into. The influences on those bands are what all of us are also into. It might not be, if someone says name your top 5 bands, that might not be one of them, but you happen to really like classical piano or super bass heavy funk or something like that, and all of that combines to create your taste and your appreciation of music. So bringing all those other aspects in, I just think is beneficial, and people seem to be responding well.
That's good, man. I think that's a good idea, is to keep it from becoming closed-minded, but more broad.
Yeah.
Ever since I came here, I mean, I've always been a fan of multiple genres, but hearing so many different subgenres within those styles that I like, that I'm like, wow, I didn't even know I was feeling this until I went to heard somebody perform, or maybe I heard it played on the jukebox or something. Now I go home and Google it or look it up and download. Like, okay, that's just maybe going down the wormhole by finding more stuff from that artist.
Exactly, and I think that's a great way to describe it. It's like, it's going down that wormhole. It's all of a sudden, and you and I can remember back in the days of having liner notes to like a cassette or like a CD, and you'd look, and there was that part in the back where the band gave like their shout outs and like who their influences was. And I remember being a kid, I would read that and I would look all those up right away.
Hell yeah,
and it just, you had to take the initiative at that point, whereas today I think there's a lot more just gets thrown on you because of how accessible music is, with Spotify and all these streaming services. But back then you had to put in the effort to find these other bands, and sometimes it was random. I remember a band that I just listened to on the way here, the Butthole Surfers, of all things. Okay, I found out about them because I read the liner notes on a Sublime CD.
Hell yeah, man! That used to be like the highlight of my week when I was like a teenager, especially when I got my first job, started making money. I'll go to the mall, drop a bunch of money on like a stack of CDs. I would rush home. I'll pop it in the car, rush home, just like as I'm listening to it, look at the liner notes, because I was all about that. That's how it got me into music. Got me into wanting to do music myself. So I see the liner notes, seeing how that song's created, look at the production, all the shit, the industry stuff, all the stuff that most people didn't care about. Record labels. I was looking at all that, then like the album art, which has got me into graphic design. I do my own stuff now, and still put out physical CDs, although that market is very, very small, dwindling. That was just part of the fun of being involved in it. And like you said, it's too much oversaturation with the... And
it spoke more to the overall artistic nature of it, like you said, like the pictures and like the way they would take the photos. I mean, those are very artistic, like higher level photos. It's not just a picture of the band, you know what I mean? Every aspect of that started to evolve, where like the art that was in there was legitimate art. I mean, how many album covers have become posters that are on everybody's wall?
Exactly.
And that some of that has been lost, unfortunately, in this digital age. But
it's kind of when like the thing with the digital age is like it's become, you said, too accessible. It's too easy for the market to get flooded, oversaturated with bullshit. Way too much bullshit gets put out because it's too easy to put it out there. I mean, you'll need everybody's their own A&R, everybody's their own marketer, everybody's their own agent and manager, which is cool if you do it right, but the bad side of that is just now anybody and their mama can do it. A 6-year-old can do it, and put out just the wackest garbage ever. And thousands and thousands of those artists out there, which overshadows a small amount of really good, pure artists, which wasn't before. It was like you had to maybe wait a month or two for good artists to put your favorite artists to put out their shit, or a year for artists to put out their stuff. Now it's so much coming at you. You don't know what to pick and choose. You don't know which way. You get confused who is who. And that's when everybody starts to sound the same. And
that's true, but at the same time, there's another side to that, which is the fact that it is so easy to get your music out there. Yes, things go out at the same level, right? So whether it's someone who is just absolutely the next greatest, gonna revolutionize music, or some kid with a MacBook and 15 minutes a night after he's done doing his homework, like those people can put their stuff out at the same level initially. But that being said, you do have the ability that you have the chance to be someone that nobody knows about, but have something special and get it out there and get it heard. Whereas before, you were relying on what executives at a major label music company.
Right, that is the best side to it.
Yeah. So it's double-edged sword.
It absolutely is. You you never know. You don't want to overlook that next diamond in the rough.
Yep.
Because that really could be anybody.
Yeah.
It's just hard because it's like
it's just so much to weed through.
Yeah, it's finding that one snowflake in a blizzard. It really is.
It's a good relevant example. We're supposed to get some snow next week. I can't wait.
It's everybody's chomping at the bits for it, man. Like salivating for it. I can taste it, man. It was a few days ago. I woke up and somehow, I don't know if it's just from everybody talking about it so much, affected my psyche or what, but I woke up, I can kind of smell it a little bit in the air.
Yep.
It was a little chill. And yeah, I did that song ready for the summer. I put it out real late, like in July, and I'm my favorite season, all that. But I'm in a ski town. I love skiing. I love all that. And I was thinking, like, okay, you know what? Although I'm not ready for the summer to be over yet, I'm so excited to get back on that slopes, man. I'm so excited to get back up there. I want to learn. I've been skiing for the last 3 years. I've been out here, but now I'm trying to learn how to snowboard now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you just let me know, man. I'll take you out and give you some lessons.
It's great. Is it weird that I wasn't nervous to learn how to ski, but I'm nervous to learn how to snowboard? Is that weird? Or is that common? That kind of feeling.
It kind of goes 50-50. If you understand like board sports in general, like skateboarding, surfing, stuff like that, then it seems natural to be riding sideways down the hill.
I learned how to surf pretty good while I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I got pretty decent at that.
Well, that's all you need, man. It's the same thing.
Alright, I hope
same
some
thing.
of those transitions a little bit.
That was me growing up on the East Coast. I mean, I grew up in New Jersey and, right by the beach, tiny little small beach town.
Jersey.
Grew up surfing, and that was my background. So I took to snowboarding no problem. So you just surfing on snow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Definitely want to try it at the most beginner level first. Just got my health insurance back, so I'm not as nervous as I was before.
There you go.
You doing anything for Halloween?
I'm actually going to be home back in New Jersey over Halloween. My good friend of mine, Adam, is getting married. So I'm doing that. And I actually have to be home. We're doing a service for my mom, who just passed away, actually.
Sorry to hear that.
Yep. From, over Labor Day from cancer. So that was kind of a tough situation that I've been dealing with.
Right.
But, it's part of life. And what else can you do but move forward and soldier on,
Yeah, I know about that. This month, 2 years ago, I lost my aunt to cancer.
Okay.
It was actually not this month, it was last month, the end of last month, but her birthday was this month. So yeah, like September, October is always like kind of in your feelings a little bit about this month. And my family is doing breast cancer awareness walk. They're raising money for that. We do it every year since then. And actually, 2 days after I come back here from vacation, so I'm going home also this next week for a week. So 2 days after I leave from here, coming back, they're doing that. And yeah, I got a couple homies got family members that's struggling with that right now. So yeah, it's always been a subject that I've actually paid closer attention to within recent years. Not aside from the donations and the charitable events that I talk about or read into or even donated to. It's just something that hits home for a lot of people.
It does, and it's sad that it is as common a thing as it is, but it's the age we live in. It's a reality.
Yeah.
So, and it's why you gotta cherish every moment you got and not wait for tomorrow, because you don't know how many tomorrows you have. So you gotta enjoy it in the meantime, and that's that's another thing that is kind of great about living out here, is that this was the best distraction possible coming back after dealing with that, because you're in a place that's just full of positive people.
Hell yeah.
We are kind of, whether it's good or bad or whatever, isolated from a lot of the bullshit that seems to be so pervasive, especially where I grew up and where I moved here from. Like, just every day it's another scared of this, scared of that, blah blah blah. I mean,
it's like a lot less judgment out here too. A lot of people seem to support individuality and originality and people being themselves. That's more of what's celebrated than people being sheep or just following something trendy. You're more acceptable, more accepted by everybody, and more connected to people when you're just being yourself, no matter how left field it may be, no matter how taboo or weird it may seem, quote unquote, to everybody else, here it's like, shit, that's what's up, man. Do that. That's part of my brand. I recognize your living its worth, man. Just everybody, yeah, you're not like, if universe didn't want you here, you wouldn't be here. So,
exactly. And some of the thing that is similar in everybody is the fact that they are different and want to do what they want. So that's, you know, the fact that everyone isn't like everyone else is almost what makes us similar.
Yes.
In a way. And and not to mention, it's just absolutely gorgeous. There's something about, you know, looking around at what we have to look at.
You can't take a bad picture
from any window, and
it's not possible.
Well, it helps you put shit in perspective, you know.
It does.
And it's not an easy place to live, you know. It's expensive. You know, there aren't exactly a ton of big high money career jobs around here, like, you know, like where I came from, and
it's an adjustment, no doubt.
But you know, it's what's your quality of life? What's your happiness level?
There you go.
You know, my wife and I joke all the time, like, you could be rich and miserable, and we were not rich, but better off, like back home in New Jersey,
right?
Working where we were working, or we could be out here and be broke and happy, and
there you go.
I'd rather be broke and happy. So
that's the definition of true wealth. That's definitely
happiness,
true wealth.
man.
Yeah, happiness.
Yeah. So, and we've really been kind of pushing that, and we even just had a little daughter.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
man.
man.
Noise for that shit.
So
yes.
Yeah, my daughter Ophelia is 3.5 months old.
Woo!
And yeah, she's just a happy little smiling, laughing little meatball.
Man,
so
don't we all shoot for, man, for starting a family? Make sure our sons and daughters are just happy as they can be.
Yeah, man.
And they want better for them than we have for us. You know, it's just like the common goal that we all want.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't have any kids myself, but just being around everybody I know that has kids, being close to people, living with people that has had kids, help them bring them into this world, help them raise them, things of that nature. I get it. 100%.
Yeah, man. And you know, where we were living before we moved here, we were not gonna have kids. We were gonna be those people who just, you know, worked, traveled, went wherever we wanted to go, and, you know, vacations and doing this and nice cars and all that, and came out here and it was like, you know, I know that was our plan back east because our life was a certain way, but if we were ever going to have a kid, man, this is the place to have a kid. I mean, you're giving them this awesome, small little community. I mean,
you can still live that goal, just maybe a little bit later or a different way, more spread out.
You know,
now you have another life you're involving, so they can live the goal along with you.
Exactly, and to be able to give them this kind of upbringing, you know, in a small community where everybody knows each other, and you know, you don't have to worry about a lot of the things that parents have to worry about other places, and the kids have positive opportunities and outlets, you know, that involve being out in nature. So, you know, you still have problems. I mean, you still have to worry about the same shit every parent worries about, but at least here there's a lot of, you know, good, positive outlets for kids to go and enjoy themselves instead of sitting around being bored and getting into trouble.
And it's easier for you to instill those values on that you learned growing up somewhere completely opposite. Yeah. Without them being sheltered. Only knowing just Crested Butte.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, being able to give them a well-rounded, you know, kind of upbringing. And my sister lives in Philadelphia. And we actually, over Labor Day, were home, stayed with her like 3 or 4 nights in Philly, brought Ophelia with us. So she's already been, you know, downtown Philly, South Philly, West Philly.
Nice. How long you been out here?
Been out here now going on 5 years, full time, yeah. But I first, I'm 37 now. I first came out here when I was 19. I was racing mountain bikes at the time. And came out here for a whole race series in Colorado. I was supposed to spend 4 weeks, like basically a month, bouncing around. Got to Crested Butte in my second week, and after the best day of riding ever, I'm riding the 401, 403, down into town, went up on the Eldo deck at 19, got served, no problem. Sat up there on the railing on a gorgeous sunny July day.
Ooh, July too, yes.
Yep, 5 or 6 beers later, this table of cute little hippie chicks started rolling up joints, and we got into a conversation, and next thing I know I was watching sunset, hanging out, wound up going to a party.
Nice.
These girls, and, you know, met a bunch of their friends, and all of a sudden had a place to stay. Yep. I had people to go riding with the next day, and I blew off the rest of the races and spent 3 weeks in Crested Butte instead. So, and I've been coming back, you know, in between jobs or for a week or two here, spent a few full-time summers. I took some time off to go on tour with String Cheese Incident and run a few small businesses from the parking lot. So in that,
going too. I'm gonna get back to that, but go ahead and finish the story.
In that time, we, I would always get out here as much as I could. Met a few good friends out here when I was, in my mid-20s. And then, kind of got distracted back at home on the East Coast, working different jobs and, working in Manhattan as a financial analyst and then working as a, like a life settlement advisor. Just horrible, useless kind of jobs. Yeah.
Collar,
cubicle. Oh, suit and tie. I was a suit and tie man for a long time. But as soon as I was done with that, I'd do everything I could to get, out here or spend a ton of time up in Vermont, Northeast Kingdom area.
Okay.
My wife and I actually got married up there. And, so I was always plotting my escape from that life. And
exit strategy.
Finally one day, my wife and I both looked at each other and we were like, fuck this, enough's enough. Let's go.
I can relate to that.
We keep talking about it. We keep talking about it. We keep trying to plan the perfect moment to pick up and completely change both our lives. Like there's no perfect moment to do that. You just do it.
Yeah. As soon as you feel it, you know it's right, and all the signs are saying, do it now or else. That's when you gotta do it.
Yeah, and we did it kind of weird where I actually came out in the springtime by myself to try to, figure some shit out. I already quit my job and sold a skateboard and surfboard company that I had. So we, I moved out here with one of our dogs and a pop-up camper in my truck. And 6 months later, we had our house in New Jersey rented, and she moved out here, and we rented a proper apartment. So no more living in the woods, but which I still miss.
That's a Netflix series right there. If you just said they could get the right producer, writer, director, you can make a movie out of that, man. But yeah, that's like that definition of like from the outside looking in, seeming like you have it all, but the inside looking out, not really. Still feeling like something's missing. So you go somewhere else, start over, almost literally from the ground up, because you said with a pop-up camper.
First job was working for Daniela on my knees pulling weeds.
The landscape.
I mean, the job I had before that.
Shout out to Keep It Green Landscaping.
Yeah, Keep It Green Landscaping. Daniela Runge, love you. I had the job I had before that was 6 figures and miserable. And here I am on my knees pulling weeds for $12 an hour, and I was happy about it. I was in a place I wanted to be, and I just knew it was a stepping stone.
Hell yeah.
From there to something else. And
sometimes it can be
that's how it went.
Surprising where you can find your true happiness at, even if you have to take a few steps back to jump forward. That's what we gotta do sometimes.
Well, it was that being on my knees pulling weeds and mowing lawns was the reason I could be here. And it was the reason I was moving my wife out here. Like it created the first version of the ability for me to live out here.
Okay.
And then, we just kind of started building from there and like upgrade to not a better job, but like another job in addition to that one. And then work in construction, which was a background that I had growing up. My dad had a construction company and, not like one of the big type things, like him and a crew of guys pounding nails, building custom homes and stuff. So I learned all that growing up as a kid. So I got into that after pulling weeds. So and then of course had experience in bars and restaurants, being from the East Coast, growing up by the beach. Obviously a lot of like bars, restaurants, same kind of seasonal resort kind of stuff. So always working in restaurants, tending bar and stuff. So got a job doing that at night. And
you appreciate it working for appreciate like earning the value of $1. You know what I'm saying? You appreciate hard work because you grew up around that. You know what it was. It wasn't like you just fell into something. Now you like literally saw people work their way up. You worked your way up. Time and time again. Mm-hmm. He mentioned the bars and everything. That's when I met Dave. While I was working at, still worked at Elk Avenue Prime, and Dave was he was a bartender or a server.
Both.
He was doing both there. Yeah, that's when I ran into him, and we just talked on random occasions about things, and we just stayed connected ever since then. Mm-hmm. So but you mentioned something about you said going on tour with.
So.
How was that? What was that about? What was your role in that going on tour?
My role was just as a loyal fan, kind of following the band. It was a string cheese incident. I'd done, typical kind of hippie kid, done some fish tours, and then decided like string cheese was a band I was really into. Mm-hmm. And I had a lovely young lady at the time who was also really into it and also thought this was a great idea. Pretty much phoned in college for 2 years. failed a few classes, but passed most of them somehow. And I remember, we would fly back to take finals and things like that, and come up with every excuse imaginable about why we couldn't be there, and how, I don't know how many uncles and grandmas I had that were in the hospital, which was 0 at the time, but my professors didn't know that, so I proceeded to.
I got a big family, man.
Exactly.
I got a family tree. I got a family forest.
Another grandma. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. You never knew a kid with 6 grandmas, but as it turns out,
you know my extended fam.
But yeah, and that was an interesting experience, time in my life. There's a whole separate kind of underground economy that exists for all of those concerts, and the parking lot scene, and that was something that I was able to kind of capitalize on. And then I also had a little grilled cheese business.
Okay.
So yeah, I would sit there and before the show and at the end of the show, I'd be sitting there with my 4 little Coleman, camping grills. Yeah. And I just be
like a good grilled cheese.
Making grilled cheese is $3, 2 for $5.
Lactose intolerant. I'm sorry for your life. I'm sorry, but
you
missed out.
Yeah, we would go from show to show. It was simple. We're talking white bread and American cheese, but
hey man, shows like that, man, simple as more.
That's right.
That's what works. That's what.
2 of those for $5 would usually sit you just right. So.
Hell yeah.
But that was and that was a great time. I met a lot of really good people. I met a good friend of mine.
You're doing your thing out there.
A good friend of mine that used to live here has since moved, but met him at that time, and that was another connection. I was like, oh man, I know Crested Butte. Like I've been there, spent some time there, and so that was like a connection that we had. And yeah, there's just been a lot of things that have kind of worked out about this place, and I've always been kind of like a constant draw. One of them is actually the story about my wife and how she got her job here. We actually, after that 6-month period of me being here, kind of living in the woods in my camper, working, whatever I could, trying to progress from like a better job or a better version of that job.
Yeah.
We decided like, cool, we can do this. I had the great gig going at Creme, and was still doing some construction during the day, so was hustling but making enough money to get by.
Right.
And we're like, fuck it, we're doing it. I found the apartment to rent. We had to get a roommate, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
And but we were gonna make it work. It cost us $1,000 a month, and we can afford that and whatever. So she's coming out. We're making it official. We decided to take a little vacation. I'd spent some time down in Tortola for a little while. I worked with a guy. It's a whole nother story, but doing custom interiors, galleys and stuff on sailboats.
Okay.
So we had done a lot of work up in Newport, Rhode Island, and I'd met these people that would sail down to the British Virgin Islands all the time. So long story short, knew a guy. He needed some work done on his boat down there. So we went down to the British Virgin Islands, got to stay on the boat for free while doing the work, which also got paid for. Told him it'd take 3 weeks. It took me about 5 days. So we had the rest of the time to just sail around and chill.
Bro,
and
that's amazing.
We actually wound up at this one beach talking to this guy randomly. He was renting surfboards, and another part of my background is a custom surfboard company, so like shaping surfboards, glassing surfboards is something that I've done since I was a little kid. My uncle taught me and just kind of learned on my own since. But anyway, so start obviously talking to this guy, and we rent a couple surfboards, and we're out there surfing. The guy comes out, we're talking. He's like, so where are you guys from? And told him, it's like, actually, we're about to move to Crested Butte. And, and mind you, this guy is living out of a shipping container on the beach that he has full of all his rental surfboards.
Okay.
And he proceeds to tell us, really? I lived there for 18 years. I just moved here.
Wow.
And we were like, you got to be kidding me, man. So he proceeds to start telling us about, different people he knows and this and that. And him and I actually knew a few of the same people. From me being there all summer and meeting a lot of these people and stuff. So we really kind of bonded, and the next couple days we wound up hanging out, and we were staying just around the corner from where he was. And, a couple late nights at the bar, you get to talking, and next thing you know, he's telling my wife about a friend of his actually works for this company in town, and she actually just sent out an email that he still gets somehow about how they're hiring for this job. So she literally is like, well, I'm moving there, I need a job. And she showed up here in Crested Butte, and 2 days later already had an interview scheduled because of meeting this person in Tortola at this random beach. Like, so again,
It's
just
crazy
this
how
super
fate just
random,
brings us together sometimes,
series of occurrences that keep pointing at this place, and it's like, you know what? It's meant to be, man. It's like this is why we've already waited too long. You know?
I feel that so much. Like that reigns so true. I told this story. Well, I'll give you the short story now, the short version. I told this story to many people plenty of times. Like the reason how I came out here. Like when I was in Hawaii, I was there for 15 years. And in 2012, I was working with a chef out there at a seafood restaurant. And I was working with him for a little while, about 6 months. He ended up moving out here for, I think the reason was his brother or something. And so we stayed in contact. And then about 3 years later, I told him I had plans on leaving Hawaii, getting out, because I had multiple personal issues. A whole nother backstory behind that. But I had plans on leaving. He's like, well, why don't you come work with me at the country club out here? It comes with a dope house, easy rent, this blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I never heard of Crested View, but I've always wanted to slide through Colorado to see what's up. I'm like, all right, so let me see what it's hitting for. So I come out, move out to Denver, stay in Denver for 2 months, wait till the club is ready for the summer season.
Yep.
Come out, start working at the club with him. Ended up being one of the best gig jobs I ever have. I loved working there. Yeah. Still do. I'm there every summer. Still come through. But it was being great, and then once I came out, it just ended up being one of the best opportunities ever, because everything I've always wanted to do, at least for like the last 10, 12 years, I've been starting to do it now. And going back to what you said earlier, you said how you met those friends at the Eldo one day. I realized there was so much. I've made so many friends in the first 6 to 7 months that I thought I would even meet in the first year.
Oh yeah,
it felt so organic. Like it's easier for me to be myself. It's comfortable for me to be myself, my real self, which I didn't always feel comfortable doing half the time I was in Hawaii, just because of the people that I was around.
Right, and crazy, what like, you think their expectations of like who you are, and you're like, well, you know. Yeah, people think I'm like this, so I gotta be like that.
That was the fun part for me, because
just
I'm like,
do what I want.
Yes, and I was still able to do what I like doing. Now, maybe not all at once. I want to ease it on people a little bit, but it was just so cool, the vibe that I got from everybody.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, knowing it was just the right decision for multiple other reasons, but for the reason that all the signs just point, okay, now is the time. If you don't come now, you're never getting out, or you're never making that change.
Well, and it's, coming here and the type of people that you're talking about, like, no one gets to Crested Butte by accident, even tourists. Like, no one gets here because they were on the highway and needed gas.
I love hearing people's stories about how they got here, or why
nobody gets, like, it's a cul-de-sac, especially in the wintertime, with no way out in the middle of this remote mountain area. Like, you're not just driving by and you're like, oh, let's pull off here, honey, and check it out. Like, you come here because this is your destination. It's not off the highway. It's off the highway, off the highway, off the other road.
There's no accident getting here, especially the road.
I don't know if you're
one way in, one way out.
I don't know if your listeners know this, but there isn't a single traffic light in this town.
Yeah,
not one.
I know the local listeners know this, but
even Gunnison only has, I think, 5 all together.
Yeah,
all the way out till you get to the road, until you get to 50 where it's clear to Blue Mesa.
Yeah,
and you're talking like there's like a dozen traffic lights in Gunnison County.
Wow, and none
pretty
of them
rural.
None of them are in CB, Crested Butte, Crested Butte South, Mount Crested Butte. None of those three, no lights.
Nope, just a couple 4-way stop signs and everybody waving at everybody, and
pretty much. A couple guys hitching on the side,
Oh yeah, it's the fastest way to get around town.
And this is the first place I've
ever
been to that had like actual sign, designated post if you need to hitchhike. It's a sign for it. Like wow. When I first heard that, I thought somebody was just joking with me. So I drove by and saw like, wow, there's really a sign there. Okay.
And it's not only a sign for those people, but it's funny how many people will pull over or slow down by it just to see if there's anybody they can pick up.
Yeah, I picked up quite a few.
I mean, when I was this summer, I spent working in town and living up Slate River or Washington Gulch. I mean, I'd ride my bike, down to wherever, but then I'd hitchhike back, and I'd just tell them, you can just drop me off at the beginning of the road, like just trying to save the little bit of uphill after a long day or whatever. And nine times out of 10, they drive me all the way to my camper. And sometimes you're talking, 15 miles past the road.
And half that time it's going to be somebody you know or recognize.
Yeah. Someone I know, or even it's a stranger. And then all of a sudden, typical Crested Butte, you get off the highway and you're, riding on those Forest Service roads, and all of a sudden the guy opens the center console, pulls out 2 beers, and, so.
Yep. Maybe a little J Spice.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to calm you down a little bit.
Just to smooth out the washboard.
I mean, that's yeah, because I mean, You know, it's a small population here, 2,000 people, give or take. And before I came out, just like maybe a few weeks before I came out, I did a little consensus. I looked around, did a little bit of research. I had no knowledge at all about CB. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Looking around, look at the population, you know, who's what, where, what's here, what's there. I'm like, okay, this is the complete opposite of what I'm used to. Born and raised Dayton, Ohio. Spent most of my adult life in Hawaii. Then come here. See what's going to happen. See what I can get into. Who can I meet? And I've been pleasantly surprised ever since. I gave myself a 3-year plan. Said, see how it works within 3 years. If it goes downhill, then I'm gonna go somewhere else. Almost 4 years later, I'm still here. Everything's looking good. I can't complain at all. And I love hearing people's stories about whether it be tourists or locals about what brought them here or how they stayed here, because they're all unique, but in a way they're kind of the same.
Yeah,
and I love it.
You know, and it's just because of the nature of where it is and the type of place it is. You know, there's a lot of places to go skiing in Colorado. They're a lot easier to get to than here. You know, I mean, for instance, just when I can remember being in high school, my buddies and I, all summer long we worked and we're like, we're going skiing in Colorado. We're going to fly out there and we're going skiing without our parents. It's going to be awesome, you know, and we did. Our senior year, we all saved up the money and we're looking at, you know, where can we go in Colorado? And I remember seeing Crested Butte and from mountain biking, hearing about how it's this amazing place and all that, and I was like, we could go there. But plane tickets to Gunnison were a fortune. And then you have to rent a car and drive like 5 hours from Denver is the alternative. And then, you know, it's not cheap to stay here. It just was a lot of hassle to get to this particular spot. So we did what everybody does and flew to Denver and went to Keystone off I-70 there, which was it was great. You know, we had an amazing time. But, you know, that kind of experience and that sort of reality is what it's like for most people when they're traveling to go skiing in Colorado. You know, most people aren't coming here. Yeah. But it's kind of what makes it nice.
Never heard about it at all until I got the job offer. Before then, I mean, there's a lot of other places I could have went, had offers to go, but I just kind of makes me laugh when I think about what could have been if I didn't. Yeah. But not in a bad way. Cause I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's it would have been great.
A different experience somewhere else.
I'm just so damn grateful every day, just the fact that I'm here, and I've been able just to mellow out and kind of. Like you said, like you did restart. I came out here with a big ass box of clothes, a suitcase, and a bag, and I've built up more than I expected to build up within 3.5 years. Not just like material things. Fuck that. It's from like my brand, people that I've known, connections I've made, the things that's going on in this town that I never even expected would be here, and the amount of fun that I've had. Bro, I can't even explain that to people back home or anywhere else because you can't. It's so unique here. Yeah, that's the benefits about living in a creative district. But what kind of advice would you give to anybody who heard about CB and is thinking about visiting or moving? Who is maybe thinking about moving here just based off of what they've heard from friends and family that stays here?
I mean, definitely come and check it out first. There's, you know, some things that are kind of unique. If you don't like cold winters, this ain't the place for you. I mean, that's just math right there.
Yeah.
You know,
longest winters that I've ever seen.
You know, the biggest surprise is going to be how amazing the summertime is. Even I didn't expect it, and that was most of the exposure I had to Crested Butte was summertime. But you know, when you have it for just bits and pieces, it's not the same as the experience of having such a long, harsh winter, and then you know, everything melts out and the mountain biking trails open up again, and you can start hiking back to, you know, not quite the peaks yet in like May, June, but you can start getting at least back out into the woods, and it's incredible. I mean, it can hardly ever rains. It's like 75, 80 degrees every day.
It doesn't rain
that
much.
Out. I mean, it's
a good temperature,
and it's just a beautiful thing.
Light
There's
air.
no bugs. No one has air conditioning.
I noticed that too, right? Yeah, it didn't
Few
hit me
people
just
even
now.
have
You're right.
like screens on their windows. Like you don't need it because every night it's 50 degrees. And you can
only
still go out and have a fire in the woods, and you know.
The only bugs I've ever seen was like a couple grasshoppers.
Yep.
Maybe a few crickets here and there.
Well, we get like a week here and there with some black flies, but they're not like
only a few flies, but.
And there's always bugs down by the water, but that's good.
Yeah.
Catch them, see what they look like.
Yeah.
Tie the same one on the end of your line and go catch dinner.
Mm-hmm. Catch some more.
That's right.
Man. So. Yeah, because I mean here it's like what, 7 months of winter? Am I off of 1 or 2 months?
This past winter wasn't quite that much, that's for sure. But
this one was kind of dry,
but yeah, I mean 7 months of winter.
Short summer.
I mean,
we
we've
feel like
gotten
there's
snow every single month of the year. Within the last 5 years, there's been snow during every single month.
Right.
Individually. So
yeah, this past winter was dry. Winter before last, they call it snowpocalypse, which I understand because we got hammered with snow.
Yeah, it was the first time they closed school in Gunnison County in 29 years.
Yeah, record-setting
100
year.
inches in 3 days.
Insane. Like me,
It was amazing.
He's from the East Coast. I was born and raised in the Midwest, Dayton, Ohio. I'm used to our winters sometimes hitting us really, really hard, so I'm used to that, everything that comes with it, blah, blah, blah. But it's not, it's short. It's not like spread out over the amount of months that it is here. So that's what I had to adjust to. And to me, with the cars that I've always had old low riding cars like I do now, only because it's what I could afford at the moment.
Well, your Cadillac's not the best in the snow here?
What? Doesn't go to the mountains? I'm trying to go off-road with that bitch.
It kind of looks like you did go off-road with that thing.
The way it looks now, I bought it that way. The previous owner hit something and looks like I took a bite out of the fender. Still ain't got that shit fixed yet. But yeah, just gotta get used to that. But I mean, other than that, people say you come here, you get drunk faster. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Me, I don't. I think my tolerance has gotten higher for some reason. I don't know.
Especially, well, that's just from practice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking hard shit all night. Speaking of hard shit, I feel like taking a shot of Crown Vanilla. You want to take a shot with me? I know you got some shit to do, but
I'm with you.
Okay, we can go ahead and do that.
It'd be rude to say no.
But yeah, I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out. I know it was in public houses, kind of infancy at CB, maybe a little bit, but I was trying to figure out what their, I don't know the names, I don't have the same names, but higher ups was thinking. Remember, I was trying to trying to schedule like a album release party there, and I found out that I wasn't. They said yeah, but then I found out that I wasn't. I never got an explanation why. I was trying to figure out why. Nobody responded. Was there anything like? Was it corporate level stuff? Was it because like local or just like?
No, I think and I didn't get much information either. All I got was that they were at the time. The main focus was high level acts. They were. Their focus was trying to, and their idea was, we're going to put Public House on the map by having just these blowout, high dollar, big name bands.
It's kind of what I thought too, yeah.
And, we've kind of gotten away from that, and I've been a big kind of advocate for that, is that, that's all fine and good, but you need to also have this wide range and variety of music. And to be honest, from a financial standpoint, the bigger name bands don't make you more money. I mean, we have a very limited capacity in our venue.
You only fit so many people in there before.
Exactly. And
fire marshal laws get involved. And all that good shit.
We're 130 people and we are sold out. That is it. Nobody else, because we've got to account for the band, security, staff at the bar. So we are at our limit. But that's a lot of what makes it such a unique version of a show. We just had an instance with this band, the California Honey Drops. They played at our place, and then 2 nights later they played at the Belly Up in Aspen. I was actually going to be in Aspen doing some work for Irwin Brewing, which is our sister company, that's the brewery here in town.
Right.
So I was there kind of doing some sales for them along with my wife, and they were playing at the Belly Up, so the manager put me and a few people on the list. I invited some people from Crested Butte, so we had a nice little Crested Butte crew. Kind of taking over a little part of the dance floor at the Belly Up. Definitely dancing harder than any of those Aspenites.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, and we, and after the show, I mean, we had just hung out with these guys, 2 nights before, showed them a proper Crested Butte good time where it doesn't end until the sun comes up.
Oh yeah.
And we hung out with them again that night, and I was asking them, I was like, what's the experience between playing here at the Belly Up, which is a nationally known music venue. They host huge acts. I mean, they have no qualms about having $500, $700 ticket prices for some of the acts that they bring in. But so I asked them, oranges to oranges, what's the deal? And he's like, hands down, your place is better. The vibe was better, the crowd was better. Right. It's a smaller show, but it's a more intimate experience. It's a high caliber audio components with high caliber fans. in a small little, reach out and touch you type venue, and it's the bands really seem to respond to that. But that was kind of a side note. To get back to your original question, at the time I think the focus was on these higher level acts, on bigger names, on put us on the map because of who's playing here.
Yeah.
And what we found out is we're getting put on the map by the bands themselves because of what it's like when they play here. Not just who they are, but the experience we provide, and we find a place for them to stay. We put them up, we take these guys out, take them out hiking. Some bands want to go out and rage in the woods afterwards. We've done that too, all night woods rave, with a couple of the bands we had previously in the summer, and that's a good time. When you show these bands 100 people in the woods getting down.
Because when the bands leave and they go back home or go to the next city or wherever it is, they chill out in between gigs. Yeah, they're not gonna talk. They're gonna talk less about the performance. They're gonna talk more about their experience in that town. Yeah, they perform millions of times. Yeah. They want to talk about what it was like how was the hosting in a town? How did people treat them? What was the transportation like? The housing, like you said, going out, just chilling.
A couple of the guys.
That means more to them. They get money, blah blah blah, but just. If they're not happy when they go to that town, they're not going to want to come back to that spot again.
No, and we've even, we do things like we'll take them out, just take them out to the mountain skiing. We hook up some lift tickets and get them rentals if they need it. That's what's up. Take them up to the mountain. We've even taken some of the bands out on the Snowcat, back up to Irwin and taking them on some, untouched backcountry powder runs
stuff that's not on the travel challenge. You won't find
some
it
like lifetime, some lifetime type shit. But here, these shots are getting warm. So cheers to you, Kari, to infinite ambition.
So
that's good.
We got the vanilla wine.
Shit, that's
so got the new event going, major acts coming in, but I know you also spoke about you want to get local artists in there, also woven in between the dates or the weeks. What kind of advice would you give to any local artists of any genre if they want to get in a venue like that one or anywhere else in town? I know different ways to go about it. I know professional ways to go about it, just from doing it in cities like Honolulu, LA, and Cleveland, stuff like that. Things I've done before, but for the listeners who may be trying to scale on the stage other than just doing open mics, not to downplay it, but just to do other stuff. How would they go about contacting you or the company, or getting yourself noticed by your team?
So they can always just come on in to the bar. I'm usually there 9 times out of 10. I'm usually there. And the thing that they need to have is they need to have their music, at the very least, their music in an easily accessible email to me type form. Dropbox is great. Other files that people use, they're absolutely fantastic, but you got to have it and have it ready. And just send it to me in that form where I can open it up, click on it, and then pass it on if it's worth, and if I think we can do something with it. The other thing is you got to look for places that have, a regular kind of, local band night or something like that, and that's something that we've toyed with in the past, but the way we did it, we had one band in particular every week. It kind of lost its appeal. A young up-and-coming band only has so many songs, especially if it's a band that's playing original music and not a band that's just doing covers.
There seem to be lots of cover bands.
Lots of cover bands, because it's easier to have a variety of shows without having to physically write and create music. And not that there's anything against that. Very entertaining. Some of our most entertaining acts that we've brought in, some of our most successful ones in terms of revenue, have been bands that are cover bands. Bands like this one band, Pink Talking Fish.
I'm sorry, I never heard that name. I never heard that name before.
So they're kind of funny, Pink Floyd, Talking Heads, and Fish cover band. They kind of weave them all together, and it's a insanely entertaining, experience. You don't think too hard. You don't have to be taking a risk on, is this something I'm gonna like? But
it's something that
they do a great job.
The demographic is familiar with also, so they're gonna come and support anyway.
Yep.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, still here. Sorry, I keep whacking this microphone.
Yeah, the question I had is for how can artists that maybe underground artists that may reach out, but not really go on, how can they? I have my own theory on how they can keep their confidence to keep going, because I've been doing this for like 13, 14 years.
Right.
Many clubs, many bars open up for mid-level artists, even major artists before.
Right.
But there's a lot of artists in my mind that don't really know how to keep pushing if they can't get on at a venue, or they don't have no kind of audience. Because like I remember when.
How do you keep grinding when it seems like it's nothing but grinding?
Yeah, because I remember when I was trying to contact you or whoever at the public house for my show, and I didn't hear nothing back for like weeks. I'm like, oh, at least give me a reason why they said no. I'm cool with the no, but just give me a reason why I didn't hear nothing back for like months.
Right.
So therefore, I didn't go there for like 5 months. So I felt some kind of way. I was like all in my feelings, like, oh, fuck.
Right.
But then eventually I thought back, like, okay, I started going there again. I started spending money again, because in my mind, I'm like, why am I tripping? The week after that, I booked a different venue and had 50 people there jamming their ass off.
Right.
So how can you get other any artists? How can you keep? My main question is, what kind of advice would you give the artists to keep them from getting in their feelings about not getting on a venue?
It's just it's that you gotta understand. My advice would be to them simply is you can't take it personal.
Hell yeah.
And lots of times it's just a matter of, and at that time in particular, they had the two other managers that I was working with had both been fired. So it was down to just me. And
it's a lot of weight to carry on your
shoulders. It's a lot, and it was, 90, 100-hour weeks, and just run the kitchen, run the bar, run the venue. It just got to,
y'all already know this dude be grinding.
It got to be a lot, and honestly, that stuff like that slips through the cracks. Mm-hmm. But persistence and staying on top of it and just checking back in, because that's the way that by staying in someone's face is how you get them, regardless of how distracted they may be, right. And regardless of how
without being annoying. Yeah, stay in their face without being annoying, without spamming their social medias. Yep. Just keeping your presence known, like every once in a while, like, so what's up, or I'm still remembering.
Yep. And it's because sometimes the situation changes, just like what we have going on there now, where we're gonna have a local band showcase once a week, but it's going to be a different band every week. And we're trying to get it to where bands are playing once every 2 months, so that they can promote it as a type of like event, so that we can promote it as a deal. We can give it a theme. We can have enough time to promote things in advance where it can be a blacklight party, it can be we've had all kinds of crazy ideas of what we can do. Obviously, costumes are key, because it is Crested Butte.
It's a costume friendly town.
Costume fetish is popular around here.
Yeah, that's a callback to a previous episode. Me and my homegirl Sooner, we have these ideas for a costume store out here in town. Mm-hmm. Needs to be one. There's one in Gunny, but they're only open like on or around holidays.
Well, that, and you got to go to around here the costume store is 6 points. So, down in Gunny. You go to the thrift store, and some of the stuff that you find in there is better than any Halloween costume.
True. And since this is a creative district, people out here are very creative in making their own costumes too.
Oh, that they are.
So you don't have to always go to Amazon or whatever.
Oh, no.
Out here is like, you can wear costumes damn near every other week of the year just for the hell of it, just because it's Thursday. Yeah, it's like that out here. I'm feeling ashamed about it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, when it's time to have fun out here, people don't hold back. It might just be a Wednesday night, but you and your buddies decide we're gonna put on some Superman costumes, eat a hit of acid.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my homeboy, Scuba Steve, man. His birthday today.
Happy birthday, Scuba.
Nick Taylor's birthday today. There's a few other birthdays either today or a few days ago or coming up. Yeah, we got a bowling party coming out in Montrose. Everybody's wearing onesies and joint. But
nice.
I never dressed up in costume for about from the age I was 15 until
that's very
the year
specific.
I came out here.
Did you have some sort of experience that made you shy away from costumes at 15?
Yeah. Absolutely. Last year I dressed up in a costume. 14 years old, Halloween. I dressed up in a costume that I made. I was Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, my favorite character from the game.
All right.
I dressed up. We going on trick or treat. Me and my cousins, my younger cousins, whatever. Got my fucking bag stolen. Motherfucker stole my bag, right? So eventually, yeah, man, I admit it. I got ripped off. I was 14. I got my bag stolen. I was a little punk back then. You know what I'm saying? Nigga stole my shit.
Oh, that is funny, man.
So later on that
Halloween
night,
candy ganked.
Yeah, man, I had a mad stash too, man.
I'm sure.
Later on that night, I went and got another bag, got some more candy, filled it up a little bit. But ever since then, rest of the years that it was quote unquote acceptable to dress up, I didn't dress up no more. And then many mad years passed by. I'm 37 now. I'm 34, was I 35, 34 years old when I came out here. Everybody's dressing up. So, fuck it. Halloween comes around. What did I do that first year? I know I was a stripper one year. I was Will Smith from Men in Black another time. And I remember like, this is actually kind of fun again. So, I mean, this year,
Well, it's not just Halloween, man.
Well, yeah.
You gotta dress up for
but
Bridges of the Butte. You gotta it's not just Halloween for you, Mr. King of Soul.
Oh, Soul Train!
That's right.
That's my favorite night of the year. But I'll get to that in a minute.
One of mine too. Vinatoc this past weekend. That is my favorite night. I spoke about
that in previous episodes, but to finish the story though, this year I got my Black Panther costume in the closet right now. Boots, helmet, the whole nine, padded muscle suit. I can't fucking wait. But yeah, there's so much going on. Like I said, yeah, King of Soul. You get your little disco on, which I wish I was this age in the 70s. I would have been partying my ass off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many things. Well, so I'm Vinatoc, Bridges of the Butte. Just a bunch of names some more that you're
Vinatoc, Bridges of the Butte, Zombie Prom.
Yes.
So not only do you get Halloween in Crested Butte, but you also get Zombie Prom, which again is gonna be hosted at Talk of the Town, my second favorite bar in Crested Butte.
Yes. Shout out.
Yeah, and that's always amazing. The whole town dresses up like zombies, and you know, it's fucking rad. It just is. A couple years ago, we went out and just out here in CB South, where we're looking at right now, up Cement Creek, down by Walrod, and figured if you're gonna be a proper zombie, you gotta have like bullet holes in your clothes. So we set all our clothes up on some hay bales and shot a bunch of holes in them. Yeah. So when making your costume involves, a 6-pack and some semi-automatic weapons, on a nice, gorgeous fall Colorado day, that's not a bad way to make your Halloween costume.
And during the day, those colors, like in the fall here, you get a good like 2 or 3 weeks worth of like, you get greens, reds, yellows, oranges, all at once, and they're so vibrant. It's like you're living in a postcard. I've said it a million times, but every view is like a painting. And remember my Zombie Prom costume, weird back and forth segue, but I'll bring it back to that, was not last year, because I didn't go to it, I was working too hard, I fell asleep. Year before that, I took one of my old chef coats, threw a whole bunch of fake blood, some ketchup, red shit on there, had my homegirl Tracy shoot me up with a bomb-ass makeup job, slit my throat from ear to ear, big bite taken out of my face. It was really good, like some Hollywood level shit. And that was really fun. I took a bunch of pieces of raw meat and glued them, meat scraps and glued them to my jacket all over the place. It was so much fun.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy, man.
And it's just, it's just one of those towns where it's any excuse for everybody to just kind of get weird and let their freak flag fly, and they go for it. And why not? You're gonna be out at the bar, hanging out with your friends, having a couple drinks. That experience happens, all the time, and it's great. But it's even more fun when everyone's dressed up and some weird costumes, and I mean that's why Soul Train is such a popular thing. Everybody gets all 70s out and goes to a 70s dance party, and it's
people get into their characters too.
It's incredible,
which is crazy.
And you see, it's just like with Vinatoc, same thing, where the whole town takes this certain kind of angle and dressing up in costumes, and everything is very like pagan and like hedonistic and like animal-like, with just this total throwback to another era and another like way of life and concept of living and all this. And you see
is in the air.
These people come to town, and like everyone in town just gets into it. You just let your inhibitions go and you just go with it, and then you see that it creates its own like tourist attraction.
It does.
I mean, I was down at the fire this year for Vinatoc, and then had to get back to the bar because obviously we were it was our biggest night ever since we've opened.
Our asses kicked that night.
And I kind of sitting there, and I'm walking back, and I'm just noticing there's these people on the side, almost like staying back on the curb because they're kind of like frightened, but they're taking pictures, and they're here to like kind of observe what they view as this like freak show. But it's not a freak show. Well, I guess it is a freak show, but
in a small way it is, but in our own way, like
everyone kind of doing just like fuck it, let's go with it, and it's almost like more like when you were a little kid. dressing up and playing like something as, cliche as like Cowboys and Indians or whatever, but like you would do it.
Yeah.
And you would like pretend that it was actually what you were doing, and obviously it wasn't really what you were doing, but you were pretending and letting your getting into it and enjoying it on this other level. And this town allows adults to kind of do the same thing sometimes.
And I think part of it because like it's the fall celebration of the fall harvest.
Yeah.
Near the end of the summer, summer is so busy for us. Everybody's working so hard. So when that time comes, people just want to let loose.
Oh, absolutely, man.
It's like let your hair down moment. Be whatever the fuck you want to be.
Oh yeah.
I saw this funny post on Facebook. Actually, not this year, but last year also, in the previous years, the day after, or the 3 days after. People talking about they came here just for that week or that weekend. They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And they felt so funny, but the posts are hilarious because if you don't really know why the town's doing what they're doing or what it's about, it's gonna feel weird and fun.
Dude,
but if they have as long as you have a good time, it's all that matters.
We were joking about the exact same thing, saying like, just imagine being like some family on a road trip, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you're planning on going one way, but you wind up coming over Monarch Pass, and you're going this way, and you're headed to wherever.
That just drive into.
And also, like, you know what? I've heard about this Crestview. Let's go for the weekend.
Yeah.
Let's hang out. It's really nice. This and that. Okay, cool, honey. And they, they make that right turn in Gunnison, and they're coming up down the road, and it's getting late, on Saturday, and they're coming up over the hill. And they just see this giant 30-foot fire.
I was going to say exactly.
And a couple hundred people in these weird, like, just like some sort of fucked up animal tribe, like costumes, just chanting and burn. I mean,
you're scared out of your mind. What?
Dad would literally slam the brakes on that minivan.
My travel agent didn't tell me this.
They would turn around and be out of here and be like, "What the fuck was that?" But and even I even had an experience. So I was working. I met my wife down there. She had the baby, and like the fire's going. I held the baby up. I'm like, Ophelia, this is your first Minotaur. Take it in.
Yeah.
And of course, she's dressed like a weird bear. My wife had her.
It wasn't near the smoke, by the way, just for y'all listening.
No, she was at a responsible parenting distance.
Yes.
From the somewhat out of control fire. Yeah. But there happened to be this couple sitting down, ironically. Couple of larger people, clearly on vacation, and the one guy said in a very heavy Texas accent, honey, I don't know why you wanted to come here. This place is full of dirtbags and weirdos, and I don't want to be here another minute. And I remember just looking over at the guy and I literally said to him, like, you're exactly right. I was like, make sure you tell your friends. And just to see that perspective, it's like, oh, you just don't get it, man. It's
crazy thing.
Crazy
thing is, he told that line, "Tell your friends."
Yeah,
his friends are probably the same exact mind as
bunch of dirtbags and weirdos. Don't come back. We
don't need people like that here.
Nope.
So that's a good line.
Yeah. Go home, tell your friends.
Oh man, it's been a great episode, man. It's great.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been wonderful catching up with you, man.
Yeah.
Something I feel we both need it. I definitely need it because I haven't spoken to you in a long time, except from seeing you in passing here and there.
That's what happens when we both work. Work at nights and.
This summer I worked at
way
two
too
jobs,
much.
like fucking.
Yeah.
So, man, just catching up, seeing what you got going on, what's going on in business in town, and we will probably. No, I won't even say probably, man. Definitely getting together, do another episode, just kicking it in town again.
Let's do it.
For sure, man. So it's been another installment.
Let's do it. Maybe we should. Maybe we could schedule one ahead of a show at over at our place.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could do a pre-show podcast. Bring the artist on. You can ask them some questions. We'll do that.
Yeah, this forum is all about helping the locals and people from out of town promoting wherever they want to get out. That's good shit. If you want to get on the radio but you can't, come here. If you want to do something somewhere else, or if you're muted that you can't say certain things, you can say it here.
Yeah.
That's what this is for. It's not corporately sponsored. Not sponsored by anybody. This is all freestyle. It's just me. And anything you want to say, get it out. If you got any social medias you want to plug, your email, anything you want to get out there.
Nah, people know how to find me. I'm a physical person in a physical place. You can come physically find me.
Everywhere and anywhere at once. I like that shit.
Yep.
Man, it's the Infinite Ambition Podcast. I'm here with Dave. Carl Martino, Recognize Your Limitless Worth. Kari'sMind.com is the website. And we are going to continue to have real talk with real people. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.